Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Good Morning Britain fans switch off as they fume over Gimmick Migrant update. The ITV breakfast show shared that the government has splashed out £100 million on a new migrant plan. And fans weren't happy. Fans of Good Morning Britain were outraged this morning as a guest was welcomed onto the ITV show to share their thoughts on the latest migrant news. It was reported that £100 million of extra funding to tackle people smuggling gangs has been announced by the Home Office. Presenters Ed Balls and Kate Garraway passed the reins over to reporter Nidya Rajan, who told viewers that the update comes as the government said it will target criminal gangs by outlawing social media ads that promote dangerous journeys, like channel crossings. The journalist shared that the government will be able to send back a small number of people who have arrived in the UK by small boat and will only accept those seeking asylum here on the condition that they haven't already tried to enter the country illegally and that they have some ties to the UK, like family connections. Nidya continued to say that the money in the government's pot will go towards new technology to disrupt organized migrant crime. She then added that the Conservatives have labeled the Labour government's latest moves as nothing more than a gimmick. The show then cut to a Tory MP who repeated her words before adding, "It will make no difference whatsoever. What we need is a deterrent where every single illegal immigrant is removed back to their country of origin, or if that is not safe, then somewhere else." He added, "The deterrent effect of that means that pretty soon they would stop attempting the crossings in the first place, but Labour is too weak to do that." Elsewhere on the ITV show, Kate Garraway asked guest and author Nels Abbey what should be done about managing the number of people coming into the country. He replied, "I don't think it should have been inflamed in the first place, because it has been inflamed." He added that to stop the boats, there should be a creation of safe routes to the UK, and we should work tooth and nail to stop being part of the root cause of the problem. He said that when choosing between bombs and bread, we often choose the former. However, fans of the show were not keen on his views as they shared that they would be switching off on social media. Posting to X Twitter, one viewer fumed, "Nels Abbey, no wonder people are watching GB News. Trash TV program." Another added, "Nels talks a load of rubbish, asked repeatedly about solutions, and just waffles. Blends in well on this program." While a third penned, "Turned off as soon as Nels Abbey started spouting off angry face emoji." It was meant to be a bold broadcast moment, but instead, Tuesday's episode of Good Morning Britain spiraled into chaos, with viewers slamming ITV for what they called a patronizing gimmick during a segment about the government's migrant policies. By the end of the morning, the hashtag #SwitchOffVMB was trending, and a flood of angry posts suggested that many loyal fans had simply given up on the program altogether. The controversy began at 7:45 a.m. when hosts Adil Ray and Susanna Reid teased what was billed as a groundbreaking live update on the channel crossings crisis. Promising viewers something they had never seen before, the program cut to a new feature set. A large interactive map of the English Channel surrounded by flashing graphics, sound effects, and a countdown clock. As the seconds ticked down, Adil hyped the reveal. "We are bringing you the migrant story in a new, dynamic way. You will see what's happening on our shores as if you were right there," he declared, leaning toward the camera with dramatic intensity. Susanna, ever the diplomat, added softly, "We hope this will help you understand the scale of the situation." When the countdown hit 0, the screens lit up with what looked like a video game simulation. Little animated dinghies bobbed across a digital channel, complete with sound effects of waves and gulls. Every few seconds, a counter dinged as it added to the tally of crossings this week. A virtual border force ship then zoomed in from the right, its siren blaring like something out of an arcade silent for a moment, perhaps as the hosts themselves realized this surreal spectacle unfolding. Then Adil, sticking to script, exclaimed, "This is the reality of what's happening. Right here, right now." But on social media, viewers weren't buying it. Within minutes, furious tweets began pouring in. "How I just tuned into Mario Kart, Channel Crossings Edition. What on earth are ITV playing at? Hashtag Gimmick. Migrants aren't a game. This is demeaning and offensive. Switch off. My morning coffee just got ruined by the most ridiculous gimmick I've ever seen on breakfast TV." One viewer even posted a clip of the simulation alongside footage of Tetris, writing, "Spot the difference." By the time the program cut back to the studio, Susanna's expression suggested she knew the backlash was coming. She attempted to steer the discussion back to serious ground, interviewing a former Home Office advisor who was beamed in via video link. But even he looked slightly bemused, his eyes darting to the corner of the screen where the animated dinghies continued to drift across the digital channel. At 8:05, a visibly frustrated Adil defended the feature. "We want to make this real. Too often, statistics are just numbers. This is a way of showing the public what those numbers mean." But his words did little to calm the storm. Social media continued to light up, with fans declaring they had switched the channel. Rival shows BBC Breakfast and Top TV quickly capitalized, with pundits mocking ITV's misfire. When your morning news looks like a GCSE PowerPoint project gone wrong, one Top TV host quipped. Behind the scenes, a source at ITV admitted producers had been nervous about rolling out the news segment. The team wanted something visual, something that would grab attention. But it was always a gamble. Breakfast TV is about tone as much as information, and this missed the mark completely, the insider revealed. Critics also pointed out the insensitivity of reducing such a human tragedy into a flashy graphic. Human rights campaigner Layla Shaab lasted the stunt in a statement. "Migrants are risking their lives in desperate circumstances. To represent their plight with sound effects and cartoons is trivializing and deeply inappropriate. ITV should apologize immediately." Even celebrities joined the pile-on. Actor Ralph Little tweeted, "Imagine being someone who lost family in the channel and seeing this on breakfast TV. Appalling." Meanwhile, die-hard GMB fans lamented what they saw as the slow decline of the program. Once upon a time, this was about hard-hitting interviews and real journalism. Now it's gimmicks and clickbait stunts, one viewer wrote in a Facebook group dedicated to the show. By 9 a.m., producers appeared to recognize the disaster. The graphics quietly disappeared from the screen, and the final hour of the program proceeded with a more traditional format. Panel discussion, weather update, and a lighthearted segment about summer recipes. But the damage was already done. PR experts later described the fiasco as a case study in misjudged television. Media analyst Fiona Glover said, "There's a delicate balance in broadcast journalism between engaging the audience and maintaining credibility." Good Morning Britain tipped too far into spectacle. Once you lose trust, it's hard to win it back. Still, some defended the experiment. A handful of viewers argued that at least ITV was trying something different to draw attention to the migrant crisis. People complain they don't understand the scale of crossings. Well, this was a way to show it. Perhaps not perfect, but at least innovative, one supporter posted. Adil Ray himself appeared defiant later in the day, tweeting, "Important issues need to be seen and understood. Sometimes new approaches ruffle feathers. That's part of progress." But the replies to his post were overwhelmingly critical, with fans demanding the gimmick never return. By lunchtime, ITV's press office released a carefully worded statement. Good Morning Britain is committed to exploring complex issues in ways that engage our viewers. Today's broadcast featured a visual representation of migrant crossings as part of that effort. We take on board all feedback from our audience and will continue to review our approach. The phrasing did little to quell outrage. Commentators predicted the fiasco would resurface in upcoming press reviews and parliamentary debates alike. Already, one MP had branded the stunt crass and sensationalist. As the dust settled, the question loomed: what does this mean for Good Morning Britain's reputation? The program has long thrived on controversy, from Piers Morgan's explosive interviews to heated debates over politics and celebrity culture. But this misstep felt different, critics argued, because it wasn't about fiery dialogue, but about presentation. If the packaging of news loses dignity, the journalism itself suffers.